Hello everyone. Now you will hear a fast recap of the movie Night in Paradise. Enjoy watching. Dagu is the most valuable member of the gang. Competitors hope to lure him to their side, but the man remains loyal to his boss Yan. The only close people for Dagu are his half-sister and her daughter. They hope that the gangster will someday give up the criminal trade. Try not to get stabbed, that hurts a lot. Little Chin has a birthday soon. I think who gave her an iPad. Her sister is seriously ill, so the man will soon have to adopt the baby. But this was not destined to happen. The car with relatives got into an accident. Chin and her mother died on the spot. Even the head chairman Yan came to the funeral. According to him, the accident was arranged by the leader of the warring gang Du. That's how much Akashku offended him. However, if the gangster wants revenge, he will have to do it himself. Yang is too weak to help him. Now Taegu arranged to meet Chairman Du at the sauna. My condolences about your sister and niece. Do promise to find the culprits. Only scumbags attack a family. Since it wasn't your order, let's consider it an accident, okay? They went to rinse off in the cold water, and the leader ordered his men to relax. They were naked here anyway, nothing to worry about. Only a knife had been left in one of the basins, and they stabbed all the guards with it. Chairman Du asked him to stop, but the gangster executed him too. There were still a dozen Buxin gang fighters standing outside, so they escaped through a small window and trudged to his car as a Gaelish. Young prepared new documents for his right-hand man and some money. He would have to go to Jeju Island first and then somewhere far away. They would hunt him now. Young decided that it was time to finish off his weekend competitors and carried out a massacre on their territory. The Go arrived on Jeju Island. For some reason, his men no longer answer their calls. At the airport, the gangster was met by a young girl. Jin, she will be his driver instead of her uncle. The thing is, Uncle Hudo is currently at a meeting with clients. He sells weapons that he brings into the country inside fresh fish and sells them only for dollars. The goob will spend the next week on his farm before moving on. Yang was informed that the chief managed to escape, but he is the second person after the chairman of Du, and Du himself is still alive. He is currently undergoing surgery in the hospital. Yang just got a call. Mr. Yang, you screwed up big time this time. Ma promised Yang that he would personally rip open his stomach. So far, Ms. Boss has started with the sixes. He immediately cut off the ear of one of them. Waking up, the Gu heard the sounds of gunshots. This woman shoots at bottles and never misses. The girl kept one bullet for herself. The guest tried to stop her. Fortunately, it was only a joke. Is she crazy? Yan was given the severed fingers, ears, and tongues of his men. The authority begs the policeman, Captain Park, to help him. He himself can't handle this war. The next morning, Jeon lost consciousness while sitting in the car. Hudo took his niece to the hospital. Soon he and Jeon will go to the United States for an operation. Here the chance of recovery is less than 10%, and they're about 20 without treatment. Joe will not survive even a month. Captain Park agreed to be an intermediary between Chief Ma and Yan. The chairman survived, although he will remain a colleague, and Ma executed several of Yan's men. So why don't they stop there and make a truce? Otherwise, the policeman threatened both bandits with serious consequences. By the way, he has an idea on how to resolve this situation. When Jean woke up, she saw the gangster next to her. Uncle was away on business again. Jean took the gangster to her favorite restaurant. She will miss the local dishes. In the next world, the girl drinks a lot. She no longer needs to restrain herself. She persuaded him to drink ITHGU, despite the fact that he was driving. The man, of course, was stopped by the traffic police. His new documents did not arouse the suspicion of the cops. Don't touch us, please. It's my fault. Yang called and ordered them to pack his things. They would come for him tomorrow. The authority told how he was really pressed and that they would have to go on the run together. In fact, Yang sold out a loyal comrade to save his ass. The attack was an arbitrary act of the park, an act of personal revenge. That would be the end of it deal. Chief Mao was not completely pleased, but still agreed to accept the sacrifice. Jian wonders how badly he screwed up with Hego. Apparently, his chances of survival were not much higher than hers, literally a walking dead man. During the deal, a regular customer stabbed Uncle Hudo in the stomach. The Buxton clan made him an offer to kill Hudo in exchange for the contacts of the arms dealers. Go ahead, finish him off, he's a busy man. The thugs were waiting for Thagu near the house, but they didn't have time to do anything. Jean shot them with her pistol. Hudo still hoped to take the money for his niece's operation, but one of the bandits shot him. The surviving criminals were about to flee when Jian ran into the barn. Bizin ordered the six to get rid of the girl, but Hego held a knife to his throat. At that moment, Uncle died in Jian's arms. Without thinking, she opened fire on the bandits and continued to pull the trigger even when there was no one left to shoot. The girl is hysterical, so Taeyong had to push her into the car by force. There, Ji Hyun had a fit. The gangster stopped at the beach to think about what to do next. They will spend the night in a motel with Jian's uncle's friends. Who is this, your boyfriend? No one of her uncle's guests. Jian told him that because of her uncle, the mafia killed her parents and brother. Hado killed them all to get revenge and took his niece to himself. They say that this is how he became a legend in these circles. I hated him. He had to die. Jian, for Huda's death every day, but now she is in great pain that her uncle is gone. She has no one left. Jin offered to sleep with the gangster, to use her body if he wants. She will die soon anyway.
Sorry, you're not my type, but you have an ego.
Loser, screw you, you're not my type either.
In the morning, Taegu arranged a meeting with the boss. He wanted to have breakfast with Ji at her favorite restaurant before leaving. Afterwards, the acquaintances smoked a cigarette on the beach and returned to the hotel. The trader is waiting for Haegu at the airport. They should immediately seize him there. Jion asked Haegu not to go. Something is wrong here for some reason. His friends did not answer their calls. Only Chairman Yang Jian wants the man to stay by her side, but Uthgo did not trust her instincts. The gangster arrived at the airport suddenly. His injured friend called him from the hospital and said that Young had betrayed everyone. Taegu was about to run away, but the boss noticed him at the last moment. 24 fighters from the Buxom clan chased the man. Taegu began to fight off his pursuers. He miraculously managed to run to the car. The bandits continued to pursue Taegu. Nasman cornered the gangster from both sides, causing an accident. The Gu got stuck in the middle of the road, and then another car crashed into him. Even now, the gangster continues to fight back, like an enraged beast. He maimed many enemies, even took one of them hostage. But when he heard the police siren, he simply jumped into another car and ran away again. It looks like they let him go. What should we do now? Chief Mao was going to smash Saidam's skull with a wrench. However, the authorities suggested luring Haegu out. With the help of his friend, the gangster arrived at the hotel, but Jion was no longer there. The girl went home to bury her uncle. However, the bandits had already cleaned up after themselves. You hope to make it to the farm before his enemies. Suddenly Yang called and laughed into the phone. He betrayed not only the Gu, but also his friends, those poor souls who were tortured by Shifma. The scumbag picked up the phone and gave the fugitive 1 hour. If he didn't come, his friend Chanson would suffer, as well as Jin. His life in exchange for their lives. Don't come, are you crazy? Are you stupid? I'm going to die soon. You know, I'm a corpse anyway. And you said you didn't want to be alone. Hold on, I'll be there soon. Before going to the execution, the Go wanted to smoke the last cigarette of his life. As promised, the gangster showed up at the farm. The Bucks and An's men immediately beat him up brutally and dragged him to the barn. The chief ordered them to call the hospital and release Jensen, however. It was too late, the bandit was strangled. And they did it on Yan's orders. Chief Mara was furious and grabbed a knife. Because of this, he violated the terms of the agreement. The Go was ready to tear the traitor apart, but instead the podlet himself began to beat him with his hands and feet. Yan had to be stopped from beating the Gu to death. I'm impressed, there's nothing human about you. You're a parasite, a rat. The boss decided to give the suicide bomber a parting gift and told him that his sister and niece were killed by Chairman Yang. The boss was afraid that TH would become a competitor, and thus turned him against them. Ma allowed the Gu to beat up his former boss. At the same time, a knife was thrown to Yang. The gray-haired man began to cut the gangster, but Hago resists and tries to beat Yang to death with his head. However, Ma did not let him do this. He personally stabbed his enemy. His subordinates also struck. Once each a loved one dies in agony. Again in Jin's arms. Nothing to brag about, I'll join you soon. Young threw Jian aside to finish off Hago and plunged the knife into his neck. After that, he wanted to kill the girl too. Don't touch her, I promised. Jian was dragged out of the barn and the place was doused with gasoline. The bandits cleaned up after themselves again. Ian was only left alive because of an agreement with the policeman. The next morning, Jian learned that the bandits had gone to her favorite restaurant for breakfast. The girl immediately got on her scooter and went there. The place was packed with criminals. Jian locked the doors. She can sit on my lap, she came for her uncle's body. The girl took out a gun and blew out the brains of the first bandit. The same fate befell the others. She doesn't miss, every bullet hits its target. Boss Ma came out of the next room. There were 24 wounded and dead gangsters lying on the floor. The other bosses closed the door in his face. Jean didn't say a word and simply executed him. The girl shot Bizin and Chairman Yan until she ran out of bullets. Let's talk, please. Jian took revenge, just as her uncle had once taken revenge. For her family, the girl reached the seashore. Jian had one more bullet left for herself. And this time there would be no one to stop her. Thanks for watching, my friend, and don't forget to subscribe.